Well, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Deb Sofield. You're listening to my weekly radio show called Encouragement for Your Life. You know, I'm a national speaker and trainer, and as a coach, I help people find their voice and learn to use it. I'm also a conference speaker on the topics of public speaking, how to deal with the media, and crisis communication. If your organization is having an upcoming conference and you're part of the leadership team, I hope you'll reach out so I can be your keynote speaker. You can find me at debsofield.com. I've got a number of books on the market: Speak Without Fear, Perfecting Your Platform, and Encouragement for Your Life. They're all available on Amazon. Friend, I'm here to tell you today that you matter, you're enough, and you can live the life you were born to live by learning a few simple rules that I'll share today with you in my message. My theme for today is this: by being yourself, you put something wonderful in the world that was not there before. I'm Deb Sofield. Thanks for spending this next half hour with me. Let's get started with today's show. I have to admit, I really like this quote from Edwin Elliot. Friend, by being yourself, you put something wonderful in the world that was not there before. Dr. Miles Monroe, who was a well-known pastor, speaker, and teacher, he was well known for saying this: the greatest tragedy in life isn't death, but a life without purpose. I have to say, I think Dr. Monroe's words live on because he spoke the truth about life. And the reality is that life without purpose, well, friends, it's just a sad way to live. As we're coming into the holiday season, I am keenly aware that these early evenings, very dark nights, colder days, and seemingly more quiet time appears to be the cause for great personal reflection. Now, for some, if you don't guard your thoughts and keep focused on the value of life during this time, I'm afraid you will shortchange yourself and those who love you. Friend, if you're struggling today because of the quiet, cold darkness of the season, please afford me just a few minutes of your time to hear my thoughts on the value I see that you bring into the world. Now, before you change the station, because you don't really want to hear this type of responsible encouragement for your life chatter, will you please give me 26 minutes to make my case? I'm sure that some who are listening were told when you were growing up that you're one of a kind, special in your own sort of way, and really there's no one else like you. Now, for some of you who did not hear those words of empowerment from your parents or guardians, and even some of you who did but rejected that truth, let me reassure you that no matter what you think about your life's value, the fact stands, friend, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. And the person who you really are, not the person who others think you are, but the person who you really are, well, you are of great value. I want you to take note of this thought by Edwin Elliot, who said, by being yourself, you put something wonderful in the world that was not there before. Even though it's hard, whether or not you believe me, I want you to remember the fact that you, listener, you bring something wonderful into the world that no one has ever brought before. No one else can bring what you bring, and no one else has been created for what you have been created for. You are the only one. So let's think about this. Out of the 8 billion people who live in the world, and by the way, on November 15th, the number hit 8 billion. And in the U.S., we have 330 million of that number. And knowing that the world population increases by more than 215,000 people every day, I want you to stop and think about how amazing it is that no one is like you. Now, there may be someone who looks a lot like you and may act like you, but there's only one you. Pretty amazing when you think about it. And since you are now thinking about it, don't you think you should take care of yourself? I've been around long enough to know that many listening don't value themselves in the understanding that they are the only one. And I hesitate to push the envelope for fear of you changing the station and tuning me out. Because for some odd reason, some listening today don't like hearing that you are the only one of you. And because of that, you have value in a special place in someone's heart, whether that person is still living or has gone on to their eternal rest. The reminder that you bring something wonderful into the world that was not there before is such a foreign thought, or frankly is of no meaning to you. So being asked to stop and think about your personal value, hey, I get it. It's a little bit annoying. Maybe it's because when you know you have value, instinctively, because you're smart, you now know you have responsibilities. A responsibility to straighten up and fly right, and to make something of yourself. Hey, and let me be brutally honest. That is more than some who are listening choose to do at this time. Now, good for you. I'm not going to call you out, at least not today on the radio. But I do want you to stop and consider the whole, and not just a small part. When you think you will not be missed, because friend, you will be missed. You will be missed when you're gone, and it's just a fact. I hesitated to do a show like this today at the holidays simply because we know a lot of people make a terrible choice about their life. So I want to pull you back from the edge. I want you to see the bigger picture. I want you to see where you fit in that bigger picture. And friend, don't make a mistake that will haunt your friends and family for life. See, what I know is that if I can help you see that by being your 1 in a million self, you put something wonderful in the world that was not there before. See, what happens, it really boils down to a very simple understanding of a basic fact, and that's this. You have value just the way you are. Oh, sure, you can make a few changes for your health, your family, your finances, but that's the easy part. And you can make those changes really without much personal sacrifice. Okay, giving up Krispy Kreme is a personal sacrifice, I get it. But the choice is whenever you choose, you can make it happen. See, I want to remind you that it's okay to be yourself. Of course, that is if you're living your best life ever and to the best of your ability. Your best self and your best life, because that is the requirement in order to live a life with purpose and to put something wonderful in the world that really wasn't there before. I came across a quote from Dan Coppersmith who said, "Be yourself. If you water down yourself to please people or to fit in or to not offend anyone, you lose the power, the passion, the freedom, and the joy of being uniquely you. Really, it's much easier to love yourself when you're being yourself." So with that in mind, let me just focus on 3 things I'm just asking you to think about today. Number 1, I want you to consider the phrase, love yourself first, and everything else falls into place. It's true. If you will just relearn to love yourself, you will begin to value who you are and who you've become. And then everything else, in an odd way, just kind of falls into place. Now, the pieces may be a bit out of order at first, but over time, they'll begin to fit, just like that puzzle that you've been working on. Albeit a little bit slower, because your growth nowadays is now measured in days and weeks, months, and years. But once you see the big picture of how loving yourself first is really your first true calling, you will then begin to heal the brokenness of life. And all the outcast pieces, well, they'll make sense when they're finally put into place. Friends, don't forget to look at the big picture before you make a decision about what you think your current state may be. They can all change in an instant, the moment you choose for it to change. See, by loving yourself first, everything else, well, it just falls into place. And by being yourself, you put something wonderful in the world that was not there before. My second point is this. I have to say, it is vitally important that you surround yourself with people who make you hungry for life, touch your heart, nourish your soul. I really can't stress this enough that you really need to find your tribe who are going in the direction that you wish to go. If you don't have the strength today to lead the parade, so to speak, then just go ahead and ride along with the others until you are well enough to forge your own path. But go in the direction of your dreams with friends and family who are hungry for the same flavors of life that you enjoy. In this short life, you've got to find those who, by their love, kindness, and mercy, touch your heart. Because friends, whatever happens, wherever you go, whatever you do, you must find those who can put the fire in your soul, or at least back in your soul. Find those who see the stars in your eyes and feel the passion in your heart. Those are the people who will understand that you put something wonderful in the world that wasn't there before. And here's the good news. When they're good friends with a great tribe, they will celebrate who you are. See, I really don't understand why you would waste a minute of your valuable time with people who do not nourish your soul. You know my line, walk away, find new friends. If it doesn't nourish your soul, you need to let it go, even at this holiday season. See, here's the problem. Some of you are dying inside because you don't believe that you're putting anything good into the world. Because the people who are in your ear every single day have nothing positive to say. They're not your tribe. You need to look around and find another. So my third point's this, as hard as it sounds, when someone isn't treating you right, no matter how much you think you love them, you gotta love yourself. And you might need to walk away. Now, for goodness sakes, don't do anything rash or silly or, may I say, stupid. It really is important that you respect yourself enough to walk away from anything that no longer serves you, grows you, makes you happy. And not just happy, but happy in the sense that you are becoming a fulfilled person who God meant for you to be. I really love the quote from Don Ruiz, who said, "If someone's not treating you with love and respect, it's a gift if they walk away from you. If that person doesn't walk away, you will surely endure many years of suffering with him or her. Walking away may hurt for a while, but your heart will eventually heal. And then you can choose what you really want. You will find that you might not need to trust others as much as you need to trust yourself to make a right decision." I will say this, I was on Facebook a while back and someone posted this quote. It says this, "If you aren't being treated with love and respect, check your price tag. Maybe you've marked yourself down. It's you who tells people what you're worth. Get off the clearance rack and get behind the glass where they keep the valuables." And hey, the reason's this. By being yourself, you put something wonderful in the world that wasn't there before. Because friend, you have value just the way you are. And it's okay to be your amazing self. Because that is living life with purpose. Now, let me reiterate one more time. Don't do anything that's going to cause lifetime damage. These are serious thoughts for serious times. And I will say, in a multitude of counselors, you will find a direction. But I want to remind you, at this holiday season, when it's cold and it's dark and some of you are lonely, please don't do anything that will break the hearts of those of us who love you. I'm Deb Sofield. You've been listening to Encouragement for Your Life. I'm going to take a quick break, and I'm going to come back with an article that basically says how to become your best self. I know you've got some ideas, but let me add to your knowledge bank to make sure you're living the life that you were born to live. Stay tuned. I'll be right back after the break. Hi, I'm Deb Sofield. If you or someone you know is interviewing for law school, medical school, dental school, veterinary school, scholarships, college, or a job, call me. You need to be prepared for the interview. Most interviews have a standard set of questions that you must know the answer to. You need a coach and I can help. I have years of experience coaching for all types of interviews. I'd like to be on your team. I'd like to be your coach. Contact me through my website, debsofield.com. Wow, that came across pretty loud. Sorry about that. Let me continue on with an article I found called The Ultimate Guide to Becoming Your Best Self. And here's the first line. Hey, kids don't see any limits. They see the world through the lens of opportunity and believe that anything is possible. Unfortunately, this open-minded, brave-hearted, fearless approach to life just doesn't stick around. We get told there are things we can't do. We're taught to settle. We get trapped in the status quo until we reach a point where we stop dreaming in the same way. I like to think there's two versions of you. There's the you that's living your life right now, and there's another you that's holding the torch for your best self. Exactly who your best self is will be different for everyone. My definition is to become fully expressed, continually explore how far I can go, and to stand in my full potential. The beautiful thing about chasing your best self is there's no fixed destination. You can't know for sure where you want to end up because at each stage of growth, a whole new door flies open for you. That said, there are things you can do that make the journey easier and a bit more fulfilling. So get excited. Keep listening to discover the specific mindsets, behaviors, and commitments that will empower you to become the person you always knew you could be. All right, this is from an article, The Ultimate Guide to Becoming Your Best Self. Number 1, think bigger. Although this isn't a step-by-step process, one of the first things to unlocking your best self is to think bigger. So many of us get stuck in the status quo because over time, we come to accept certain things about ourselves. We make decisions about what we can do and what we can't. We decide what we deserve, what's achievable, and what will fit in with the lifestyle we currently lead. When you're fixed to a particular view of your life, it is hard to see new possibilities. Thinking bigger provides a pattern interrupt that challenges your self-imposed limits. A simple way to do this is applying what they call the 10x rule. Think about something in your life and then imagine how it would look if you 10x'd it, 10 times bigger than what it is. Whether it's your finances, your health, your happiness, your relationships. Just considering a new possibility for some is enough to open the door to an entirely new life. Next point is create a vision for your life. In your head, fast forward to your final days on this spinning planet. Who do you want to have been? What do you want to have achieved? What would you have wanted your life to stand for? What are your core values, your purpose, or your mission? See, creating this big picture vision for your life gives you the context you need to plan your everyday. You'll have an inner compass that makes it easier for you to make the right decision and set the right goals. When everything you do is in alignment, it is much easier to become your best self. I love point number 3. Friends, you got to set goals. You won't become your best self if you don't have a vision or a destination of where you would like to go. For many of us, goals give meaning and direction. Without it, a lot of folks are rudderless and risk living life on autopilot that many times takes you away from where you want to go. Set goals for areas of your life to ensure that they align with the vision of who you are and what you want to be. I like the next point, which is this. Practice gratitude. Your best self knows that life isn't going to be all plain sailing. You're going to hit your fair share of highs along the way with some failures and some lows. But if you want to be successful, you need to nurture a positive mindset. You have to be willing to believe that you can do it, that you are worthy, and that life isn't always against you. That's why gratitude is a critical practice to nurture. Some of you need to bookend your day with a gratitude practice. You start your day with what you're grateful for. In the morning before you hop out of bed, say your prayers of gratitude. And as you're going to bed at night, repeat the same prayer of gratitude. There's a quote from Steve Jobs that I like. It says this, you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. You have to trust in something, your gut, your destiny, your life, karma, or whatever. And I'll add in God's will. See, for me, it's a great reminder that you can't be sure of the real purpose of what you experience on your journey until you look back with the benefit of hindsight. There's the old country song, Thank God for Unanswered Prayers. I think it's Garth Brooks. Can you imagine what life would have been had we thought what we thought in high school or college? And now look where we are. Reflection is the greatest of teachers because it enables you and I to see the patterns and consolidate what experiences have taught us about our goals, our life, and our next steps. Number 6, I think, is learn to thrive in discomfort. Your best self is not going to be an easy life. Trust me, nobody said it would, so let's just admit it. If you want to create and achieve things you're going to have to do things you've never done. You're going to push yourself out of your comfort zone, and you'll thrive there. If you don't, you won't move beyond where you are now, and you'll keep hitting that proverbial ceiling. Plus, you'll never know what you're capable of doing. Pressure can make you incredibly resourceful. You can always do more than you imagine. So friend, go with it. Let the fear guide you as you proactively seek out experiences and situations that will force you to grow. And then watch your potential go for the sky. The next point is to take ownership. When things aren't going the way you want them to, it's easy to point the finger elsewhere. When it's not your fault, you don't have to take responsibility. And you can feel better about yourself by placing the blame elsewhere. The trouble is, first of all, too many people do this, but it's also disempowering. If it's not your fault, then you're powerless to change the situation. That's why you have to take ownership for everything that happens in your life, even the stuff that at first doesn't seem to be your fault. When you own it, you control it. When you own it, you can take steps to change the circumstances and shift your life in the direction you want to go. It really is one of the most powerful attitudes for a successful life, and most people don't want to do the hard work. The next point is this: default to action. It's true that everything starts as a thought in your head, but what if that is where it just remained? You'll never feel the full value of that idea in your life. That's why you must train yourself to take action. I got to tell you, I've been having to do some extra work, and it is really hard sometimes just to make a decision. And I've had to say to myself, Deb, make a decision. If it's a mistake, you'll fix it. If not, we'll be done with it. Here's the fact. When you and I default to action, we force ourselves to make decisions. We don't sit on the fence, and we don't waste time. It's the doers in life that get the best results. I think you and I should become doers of life. I love the next point. Enjoy today. Friend, you only get one life, so don't waste it wishing your time away to some point in the future where you think you'll find success. Enjoy the journey now. Remember, there is no someday. You need to start today. Spend time with yourself. We live in an insanely connected world. 24-hour news, TV on demand, phones that make us accessible at any time of day or night, social media that allows us to be close friends with people we'll never meet, and search engines that put information at our fingertips. Everywhere you look, there is someone or something telling you how to live your life. This is how it should look. This is where you should live. This is what you should be doing: reading, cooking, writing, playing, learning, exploring, discovering. That's why we need to disconnect. You need to shut out all those other voices and get clear on who you are, whose you are, and what you want. I like the next point because I do not do well at this, but it is master your minutes. Time is the most valuable, non-renewable source you and I have. We need to waste it wisely. Jim Rohn, one of my favorite speakers, says, time is more valuable than money. You can get more money, but you can't get more time. So how can you maximize the 24 hours you have each day to think bigger, achieve more, and enjoy the journey? The simple answer is to become a student of productivity. The truth is, you and I squander so much time every day. Distractions, interruptions, lack of focus, Facebook. But if we take control of our minutes, we can train ourselves to do more in less time. Listen, there's plenty we can do to become a productivity whiz. And when the lack of time is no longer the thing that holds you back, think about all you can do. The next point is build resilience. Friend, we don't always get what we want, even if we work hard and with passion. Every blue moon, we're going to knock up against a failure. But how you and I respond when things don't go our way, well, that's the key. While mistakes don't feel good, no one wants to see themselves as a failure. But you are never getting it wrong. There's a good chance that you are selling your potential short. And that's where resilience comes in. How much do you want it? If you keep getting up every time you get knocked down and refuse to give in, you'll find a way. Now listen, it may not be the way you expected, and you may not even get the results you want, but you will find your potential. The next point is to develop a growth mindset. When you commit to becoming your best self, you quickly discover how much you don't know. What's more, each time you break through to a new level of living, you'll simply step into a whole new unfamiliar world. Because, friend, there is so much you don't know that you don't know. So stay curious, stay hungry for knowledge. Be okay with not knowing everything, knowing you can find it out if you look in the right places. You can read new books, listen to podcasts, watch TED Talks, listen to a Saturday radio show. Keep feeding your mind, expand your knowledge base, and let's see what opens up for you. Let me end with this final one, and friend, that's believe in yourself. Henry Ford said, whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. The success you want starts in your head and your heart. If you don't genuinely believe that you can do the things you want to do, there's a chance you'll prove yourself right. So invest in your confidence. Do the work that helps you understand and address your limiting beliefs. Track your success and know that you're on the right path. As cheesy as it may sound, make friends with yourself. Talk to yourself the same way you would talk to your best friend. And remind yourself that you can do it. See, you wouldn't have come up with that idea in the first place if it wasn't at least possible. Because, friend, the way you feel about yourself is pivotal to everything. And the quicker you begin to understand that believing in yourself is the first step in the right direction, I believe that will put you on the path to success. Okay, I have to admit, I love today's message. I know it was a bit hard-hitting in the beginning, but I want to remind you that by being yourself, you put something wonderful in the world that was not there before. I'm Deb Sofield. Thanks for joining me. Join me next week, same time, same place, for encouragement for your life. Have a good one, everybody.